Have you ever noticed that most ghosts are kind of boring? No, seriously. We always see the movies where they're throwing plates and people are screaming about blood. But real life reports are usually just someone saying something like, I saw a guy in a top hat. He walked in the pantry and he just vanished. This happened around 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's not a haunting. That's what I would call a bad Wi Fi connection. Today, we're talking about stone tape theory. It's the idea that ghosts aren't actually spirits, they're just a recording stuck on a loop in your walls. Your house isn't haunted, it's just a really old hard drive. So, the theory goes back to the 70s, which shout out to the 1972 BBC film The Stone Tape. But the concept is older. It suggests that certain minerals like limestone and quartz can absorb emotional energy during a high stress event. Think of it like this. You've got a massive fight going on between you and your partner, or you stubbed your toe and it extremely hurt. The quartz that's in your floor tile was like, oh, that's a spicy vibe. Let me hit record on that. Later, under the right conditions, maybe the humidity hits a certain level, or you're just in a bad mood, who knows? The house decides to hit play. You see a lady in a white gown walking the halls, but she's not looking for her lost locket. She's just a .mp4 file from 1842 that just won't delete. Then there's this classic type of story, the residual haunting. My favorite ones are the ones where the ghost doesn't even know that you're there. I've heard a story once about a family who kept seeing a ghost walking through their living room, but he was cut off at the ankles, just stumps floating across their carpet. They were really terrified, and so would I. They called experts, but nothing fixed the issue. Later, they did a renovation years later, and then they found out that that original floor was actually 6 inches lower than the current one. So the ghost wasn't floating. He was technically walking on the same floor that he had originally been wrote into. And he was literally just a save file that didn't get updated when they put in that new floor. Imagine being stuck in a loop walking through a room that doesn't even exist anymore. That's not scary. That's a bug in the simulation, if I've ever heard of one. Now, the humor aside, there is something low key terrifying about this. If the stone tape is real, it means our walls are basically like sponges for our worst moments. Think about that. It explains why battlefields or even old hospitals feel heavy. It's not that there are thousands of souls stuck there. There could be. It's that the very ground that it is sitting on is saturated with terror. Think of it like this. It's like a sponge that's been sitting in that gross sink water for way too long. The ghost isn't an entity you can talk to. You can't ask, where's the gold? Because it's not there. It's just an echo, a phantom signal, if you will. So, if you see a ghost tonight, don't panic. Just check if your house is made of limestone or has quartz in it. If it is, you're not being haunted. You're just watching an unskippable ad from the 1700s. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever seen a glitchy ghost Someone who just does the same thing over and over again? Or do you think the rocks are just gaslighting us? Let me know. I'm John, and this is the Weird and Unexplained with John. And please, 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 for the sake of your floors, especially those marble tiles with quartz in it, stop having an emotional breakdown in that kitchen. Why? Because the quartz is watching you.